everyone, welcome to the curious world of Alice. Riding a bike is not all that hard, but do you know how to most effectively transfer your human energy into that hunk of metal? We'll also learn about a few safety tips and free maintenance that you could do at home. Stay tuned. A cyclist's legs provide the power of cycling.
The longer the legs, the longer the pedal stroke, the more effective energy transfer from the body to the bike. The feet is an extension of the legs, and that's why you use the ball of your foot on the pedal rather than the heel. And your seat should be adjusted so that your legs are almost straight with a slight bend when the pedal stroke is at 6 o'clock, which is the lowest position. If not, you may be in a constant squat position, and that may cause knee injuries in the long run. In fact, when you're seated on your seat, typically you shouldn't be able to touch the ground with your feet, unless maybe you have really big feet.
The key to properly using your gear is always to pedal with some resistance. When the elevation changes, you upshift or downshift accordingly so that the level of resistance remains similar.
The gears on the left are for sudden major elevation changes, and the gears on the right, you use them more regularly for the typical elevation change. When preparing to go uphill, you want to be in the correct gear before riding up a climb, because if there's too much pressure and resistance on your pedal, it can cause the chain to drop, also known as popping out. Here's an example of me struggling riding up a steep, long hill due to being cooped up for so long. To be fair, most people hop off their bike and walk up this hill.
It's important to practice bike safety measures for your sake and for others.
The bell. More importantly, if you have a child that likes to ring that bell for no reason at all, please tell them to stop. Because most people have learned to be very attuned to the bell. So when they hear it, they will be alert and try to watch it for a cyclist. But if you have a kid who's just ringing just for the fun of it, well, that's like crying wolf. Hand signals. Using them properly and effectively is very important as well, because nobody really reads your mind when you're riding a bike. Using lights in the dark. The white light always goes in the front and the red always in the back. This helps others know which direction you're going. And the helmet. Not the most stylish item or accessory that you could have while riding a bike, but it protects your most precious organ.
At the beginning of the season, it's always good to prep your bike before riding it for the first time.
You want to check the pressure on your tires. Instead of using your fingers to pinch and see how much pressure there is, you want to apply your entire body weight, because that's more representative of when you're seated on the bike. And then you could check the brakes, because who wants to be unstoppable while they're riding? And if you're somewhat or extra keen, cleaning the chain is always a good idea. The frame and the wheels are the most expensive part of a bike, and then comes the chain set. So by keeping your chain clean, it will help to keep your chain set last longer. Step number 1, wipe your chain with paper towel. Gloves are not mandatory, especially at this point in time. If you're properly practicing social distancing, no one should be able to see your fingernails. Step number 2, use soapy water and an old toothbrush. Step number 3, rinse off with water. Step number 4, wipe it dry with paper towel. Step number 5, use chain lubricant. This one, I like it because it's biodegradable. There are also lubes that are for different conditions. Ideally, you want to clean and lube your chain several times per season, depending on how often you ride your bike. And before lubing it, it's always good practice to clean it.
And 15 minutes later, gently wipe off the lube. We all learn how to balance on a bike as a kid, and I hope these tips will help you enjoy your experience as an adult. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, bye everyone!